It's now currently streaming.
There it goes, starting.
Stream offline.
You give it a second.
It's starting. It says starting at the top.
So give it a second.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
Now, from here, we just keep it muted on there.
Yes.
Okay.
So is there like a loop right now, or what's going on?
No,
We're live.
Yeah, we're live.
I'm not moving at all.
Well, it's because there's a delay.
It's a delay, a big delay.
It's like right there.
Large delay.
Will it catch up?
Yeah, see, it's moving now.
Yeah, no, it's about 28 seconds.
Well, we can actually fix that.
All right, Benjamin Miller.
What up, Benjamin?
We can actually fix that if you want to fix the delay.
Fix the what?
The delay. No?
Leave the delay on. We'll just have to explain to people that there's a delay.
Well, most people will actually know about the delay in general, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
All right. So we've got one person watching currently right now.
Yes.
All right. So, and then this is going to stay on our YouTube channel, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is going to
Folks, sorry about all this, and you know, we're still they're walking me through the process, so I apologize.
The two streaming techies here are going through it with them.
Yes.
I've never done this shit before, so
Not even once.
Not even once.
and I'm not going to be like even remotely close in this shot. I don't think.
Oh, did you click record on that one?
No,
I
go
got
ahead.
Oh, yeah, go ahead
Click
and hit that one too. Here,
There we go.
All right, cool. So that way we're live. We're live everywhere.
yes.
Except my ninjas.
Yeah. So that one I will have no clue. I won't even be able to read their comments.
It's alright.
So all right. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever
R&R
podcast. That's
the
right.
Raj and Rich Show.
Right. For those of you that are in Amtgard, you know us as Yamish, Fister, Lyriel,
Hi.
and Fenris. Or Lufa. Not Fenris.
We call
No, it's Fenris. Everyone just calls me Lufa.
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 So there you go.
My Amtgard
All right.
nickname.
So we're here tonight to start talking about some of the great topics that are going on in Amtgard. And folks, there's a few.
There's a lot.
so many issues.
There's a few. Okay.
We got
You
crotch
know what?
grabbers.
Fuck you, Killamilla.
Pole
I have
fighters.
mixed feelings for all
I
of
have
you.
mixed feelings for all of you.
Shut up.
Right? Okay. So we're going to be talking about 15-foot pole arms.
I like them.
We're going to be talking about the debacle in KCG.
I don't know what that is.
We're going to be talking. Let's see. We're also going to be talking about what else? The sexual harassment
That happened at Keep.
that happened at Keep that has now suddenly gone silent.
It went bye-bye.
It's like gone by. No, like all of a sudden everybody's like, shh.
It's
Straight
gone.
up like NSYNC.
Also, what else are we going to cover in Amtgard today?
That's actually a really good question. I think I totally forgot.
We'll roll into it. We'll roll into it.
And then,
okay?
of course, if any of y'all have any questions, you guys can go ahead and ask us.
That's right. As you're watching this, as you see, there is a live chat channel. Now, understand that there is about a 30-second delay. So by the time we read it, you know, you're asking a question. We're going to get it behind. We're going to be a little bit behind on it. Okay, so don't get frustrated going, well, they're not answering my damn question. It's not that we're dodging it.
It'll happen eventually.
By the time we read it and comment on it, it's going to be 30 seconds later. Okay. But trust me, we're going to talk about it. We're going to cover it. Okay. So, anyway, so let's move right into the easy topic, which is the 15-foot pole arm thing. Okay, let's get into that right now.
Hold on,
Okay, so I will say this. I was at Keep.
Yes, you were.
I
You
was
were
at Keep last week.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I was in the kitchen, and
Like a woman should be.
Oh shit! Hey, at least I cook better than you.
You right?
So, I was in the kitchen the entire time. Granted, I did see the poles, but I didn't see them in combat. What I do know is that this one dude, he was a Saracen. He came up to me because he was supposed to come and help me serve feast, and this is for.
It had to be. It
was a fucking Saracen.
Okay. All
It
right.
had to be a fucking Saracen. So he came up and he goes, "Bro, I know that I said that I'm gonna help you serve feast,
Catching up.
but I kind of got cracked in the dome by a giant ass pole,
Oh yeah, you told me about this. Yes.
and I think I might have a concussion." was all like,
Why does he sound like Foghorn Leghorn?
Because he probably did
He
sound
probably
like
did with a
Foghorn.
concussion.
We're not the most educated group of the
I'll
fighting
say
company.
it.
I got crack. I said again, I got crack in the head.
So I told him, I was like, dude, relax. It's all right. How about you go and take a seat, and drink some water, get yourself checked out. Sure
Yeah.
enough, he ended up going to the hospital,
Alcohol.
and he ended up getting a concussion. He ended up having a concussion. So shit happens. So apparently, the biggest thing is that people are salty and people are throwing a huge fit, saying that 15-foot pole arms are completely unsafe in Amtgard.
Can we get some PJ Salt in the chat, please?
I got grade A Himalayan pink salt.
I don't know how they're going to take that. Being the only woman and talking about pink salt in this conversation.
You're bad.
I am very
I mean,
bad.
I've noticed in
Well,
Amtgard
this
in
is
general, the
uncensored.
salt is never
This
real.
is uncensored,
The
and we can
salt
say
is
we're not pulling any
temporary.
punches.
We're not pulling any punches.
No
We're
punches
not.
pulled.
We're
Well,
not.
all right. So go on. Or is that it?
That's as far as I know.
From what I've garnered is that it's just a bunch of people who are butthurt because they cannot take a poll. And they're like, oh, well, I can't take a poll, so I'm going to run it. And then when they run it, and they get cored because their dumbasses can't block the entire poll, then that's not the person fighting fault.
No.
It's the idiot who jumped the poll.
Yes, it is.
Now, if you want to learn how to go up against a poll, you got 4 people right here who are willing to help, teach, recommend, whatever.
So Killmo made a comment. I was wondering where to get some more salt from. Apparently, I needed to go to Keith.
HEB.
HEB.
Go to the head.
HEB.
All right. So, being a person that
Walmart uses slave workers.
for a very long time that has fought with a pole arm. Okay, for a very long time I have fought with a pole arm.
Polls are
So bad.
people.
What?
Poles are friends,
The-
not food.
The thing that you run
That's
in,
in
the
the
thing
bedroom.
that you run into is your error is not the pole itself. The pole is a very effective weapon. It can be a very safe weapon. It's either the person that's utilizing the pole doesn't know what they're doing, or the person that's fighting against the pole has no idea how to fight against the pole.
Yeah.
And so you end up with an unsafe situation because of a lack of education.
In other words,
And
you're
what
doing
it
that at a bad time.
and what it sounds like happened at Key is you had a bunch of people that went to fight the pole, got upset because they weren't beating the poles. They were getting wrecked by the poles,
There was a lot of body checking.
and they decided to take it to the next level, which then turned it from a normal game
To dag.
into a dangerous situation, to dag, where they started rushing people. And then because they were rushing people,
Polls are scary anyways.
okay, when they started rushing people, understand you only have so much padding on this thing.
Yes.
Once you pass the padding, you now have a blank core.
Yeah.
Okay?
If you
And
don't
a set
press
of
them-
fists. Now remember, you also have a set of hands in there. So now you have a problem with coming in contact without the padding,
The core.
okay, which is your core. Them, in their move, punching you while they're still holding on to it. And now you have 2 bodies in close quarters.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so what ended up happening was people were getting hit with core. People were body checking the pole arm fighters. I've more than one person told me they got run into by a person charging the pole who had armor on. Oh, sorry. I apologize. I'm used to doing a radio show. There's no one to look at. Okay, so anyway.
But you're also beautiful.
Okay,
Promise.
so anyway, the whole thing. I also, like I said, I heard people were complaining that there was a lot of people in armor that were now running into those people wearing the pole or with the poles, not
Yes.
wearing the poles.
And they were causing more damage than just a bump on the head.
Okay.
Yes.
And then, see, and that's where you have a problem. And I've made the comment to many people: if you're going to run my pole, and you are not going to be able to control your momentum when you come into me,
Right in the ding ding.
I'm going to stand my ground against you.
Right in the ding ding.
I'm
Okay.
gonna drop
I'm going to drop,
and shoulder
I'm going to
check
drop
you.
my shoulder. I'm not going to intentionally shoulder check somebody, but anybody's ever played contact sports knows the lower man wins the battle.
And you signed a waiver.
I'm going to take the lower position. Okay, I'm going to take the lower position on this. So you're going to lose. in this situation. I've played hockey and I've played football. Okay? You'll lose. If you cannot control yourself when you run a pole to be able to stop prior to making body-to-body contact with force, I'm going to defend myself physically. I'm not going to actively push you. I'm not going to grab you and throw you to the ground. But I'm going to brace myself in a position that will better me.
Yeah. The thing I see wrong here is everyone has the right thing, but again, the main issue is with IK events, inter-team events like that, things where over 100 to 200 people, if not more, show up for these battle games. There's always this risk. Now, this was a bigger risk because it was a little setup for pikemen against people.
Okay.
And the problem was, again, people were so pissed off that they weren't getting through.
Talking to you, Eclipse.
That everyone just started to get so damn pissed about it. It was like, fuck the rules, I want them gone. And that's what happened. And people got injured because of it.
Yeah, and
emotion played a major
If your
part
own
in that.
dumbassery leads to you getting hurt, self-inflicted injuries, get no sympathy, put your big girl panties on.
well, and I understand,
Or a big boy.
and do understand.
Nuggies.
Do understand. I'm also playing. I'm playing both sides of this fence. Okay, you know.
Yeah, but the poles reach over the fence.
Well, I got that. Okay, but the thing is,
All right, devil's advocate, calm down.
one of the problems that, like I said, one of the problems you're having though, is you have people in fuck tons of armor fighting against poles that are rushing the poles and then can't even stop themselves. So who's the dangerous person in this situation? The guy with the pole, or the guy wearing a fuck ton of armor that obviously can't control himself? And there's where your problem lies.
I think the
The pole itself, and banning a 15-foot pole makes no sense. It's people need to see who's operating these poles and determine if the person operating the pole needs a little more education in operating a weapon of this size. This ain't a short sword. It's total different mechanics.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
these poles came from Polaris.
And no, as far as I understand, I've not had the privilege of being able to fight against guys from Polaris with poles.
Well, then again, they are the newest kingdom in Amtgard.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well,
The newest kingdom.
I get that, but like I said, I haven't had any experience with fighting with them, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Okay. Amtgard is the one who taught me how to fight with a pole.
Oh my god.
If anybody's ever fought with Amtgard, you know how Amtgard fights with a pole. Okay. Amtgard is the one who taught me how to fight a pole.
FT taught me.
Okay. FT taught you.
Yeah.
There's another man.
And maybe
So
that was just posturing and smiling, but
we had, me and you had the luxury of having people who know what they're doing, know how to educate somebody on how to use this properly. I'm pretty sure you had a mixture of both on both sides. You had some people didn't know what they were doing,
yeah.
and then you had people who were fighting against them that didn't know what they were doing, got mad because they were getting wrecked, and decided we're gonna go the other way with it.
I was actually one of those people that initially I was bad at a pole and I didn't know what to do. That's whenever I met FT, and he goes, "This is what you do," and that's whenever I was finally taught how to deal with a pole, because I was starting to get pissed at poles and trying to actually step on them. I was a dumb kid back when I started playing.
I think we all were at some point. I mean,
Oh yeah.
there's some people that I have encountered in the game lately that are just still morons.
Yeah.
Granted, we still have a dumb kid next to us, but
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah, a little
But
bit
she's
later.
learning.
yeah. So Ben said I can't remember who taught me, but it's a lot. But it's toss up between Riffraff, Alucard, Skywalker, and Roland from DS.
Dragon's back.
Dragon's.
Okay. So, but at least Ben has had a bunch of different people. So, he's able to sit there and go, okay, now I can kind of fit together what they taught me to do right.
I started out with
And
a
fit my own
6-foot
style.
speed pole.
Yeah.
Before I met anything, I'd met Lufa
Yeah.
at that point. But I started out with a 6-foot speed pole. Magi, he's a member of Murky Waters. He was very gracious enough to make it for me, and kind of taught me some of the basic mechanics. And it's a totally different monster going from, you know, your 4-foot, 6-foot.
Ben's been gut checked by Styles.
Well, that's unfortunately a different color. Anyway.
Right.
That is all
When
sorts of different
when I was
colors.
learning on the speed pole, the mechanics though were still very similar. The grip, how you do your strikes. Because with the speed pole, if you hit someone with the cord, depending on how well it's constructed or how poorly it's constructed, can break. When I switched up from the 6-foot speed pole to the 8-foot pole Hatred, she has a band shop pole core, and I didn't know how to use her at first. I was taught, and there were some injuries to myself as well as others, but it was chalked up to A, both of us don't know what we're doing, B, let's get better. And that's how we moved on from that situation. Since then, I have learned I don't core people anymore. You might get hit in the dick, but that's your own damn fault. So.
Well, hitting people in the dick with a pole arm is kind of a
It's a legal shot.
It is.
It's a legal shot.
It's discouraged, but it is legal.
Now, I remember when I first started playing and everything like that.
Oh God.
This is about probably 4 years ago. I actually made a pole. It was a 9-foot pole.
Wait.
Okay.
It was a 9-foot pole, had a 4-inch cross section, so it was a great weapon.
Have I been in the game longer than you?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Shut up.
I've been in longer than all of y'all.
No, fuck
It
off.
took me a good month, Ben.
Yes, and I also had a stab tip pommel just because I thought it would be fucking hilarious. And I remember when I first started, I was wielding this fucking war pole, and I'm going fucking murder shopping motherfuckers and everything like that. And there's been a few times where I almost hit people in the head.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? I actually want to get better. I want to be able to learn how to actually use this so I can be effective. Best thing that I did, besides talking to other players on the field who have been in the game longer than me, I've also checked out SKBC videos on YouTube. And that's
where Amtgard taught me how to fight.
Exactly. There is a multitude of fucking videos from SKBC that you can find for different weapon types. You got sword and board, you got flow, you got war pole, you got everything. And I still remember to this day one of the things that Amtgard actually taught, and it was, if you got somebody who's coming up on you, you take their pole, go like this, and rush up on them. And then, as they're coming up, you tilt your pole around and start slapping them from the back.
Yep.
That is the best way to do it. I was like, holy shit, and I actually tried it. And it fucking worked.
It does. It works really well.
So, there is numerous things that people can do inside the game to get better.
There is, and you know what the thing is, and warlords will tell you that they're not perfect either. Well, I know of one or two that will tell you they're perfect, but for the most part, most of them will tell you they're not perfect either. They're always learning something.
Nobody's perfect.
So to say that we're going to start, first of all, the thing I want to bring up in this situation, where we're talking about where people want to discuss banning anything over 10 feet in length. Okay, because they said, oh, it hurts people.
Yes, my dick's out.
I've been at events, especially like Clan. More people taken off the battlefield by arrows.
Yeah.
Getting struck in the head by arrows than the pole arms did to anybody.
Yeah.
I got knocked unconscious at Clan by an arrow. Now, understand that when they went back and checked the arrow that struck me in the head, it was blown. Okay, got me right here, right as I turned my head. Bam, out. The lights in Georgia went out. Okay. You know, so if we're going to start this whole discussion that we're going to start banning weapons simply because they hurt, the only option we're going to have left in this game, the only option we're going to have left is we're going to go to a turn-based system where, oh, well, my weapon does 30 points of damage and I have an accuracy rating of 12, so half of that would actually hit you.
So
if I wanted to, I'd go play Nero.
Yeah, exactly.
me and Todd Crispin talked about this very thing, and that's exactly his words. If I want to do that, I go play Nero.
Or just or just enjoy the cover of my own home and play D&D.
Yeah, exactly.
So two things. One, Killamil said war poles are nasty if not handled properly. You can have a long time playing with poles, but the change from speed to war or vice versa takes time.
It does. There, I've gone. I normally fight with a war pole.
Yes.
Somebody's given me a speed pole before, and I was unbelievably, well, not really unbelievably, because they suck anyway.
Yeah.
But I was absolutely horrific using it because I'm used to heavyweight with a lot of hit, and now you're talking about going down and popping up and snapping and stuff like that, which I don't do with a war pole. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Another thing, Tomalot from Wickerwood in the CK, said, the major problems that come from longer poles is that they straight up hit harder, have more mass and more mechanical force applied. The poles that keep, the big 15-foot poles from Polaris, were restricted stab only and no motor jobs.
That's fair.
And that's fair. If, like, my 12-footer that I just built, if I got told you can only stab with it,
That's fine.
I would... A lot of my secondary shots are sweeps to the legs, okay? But if I get told that's no longer an option, you got to stab only with this thing, well, fine, I'm stab only. I'm keeping a sword in my back belt.
Yeah.
Because as soon as my stab fails and somebody who knows how to properly block,
Yeah.
I only have maybe one chance at backing up, withdrawing, and taking one more stab. After that, I'm now left with the option of pulling my sword from my back and now trying to defend myself.
There's another.
It is a risk you run in running a much larger pole. Your movement options in a crowd of people become a lot more limited.
Yeah. Another thing I noticed, this happened like a couple of times back in whenever we had Banner Wars at Tanglewood.
Mm-hmm.
It's called pulling a warplate.
Oh,
I think I know this story.
We were jugging one time, and it was this person down band, but Darkstar.
Darkstar.
We were jugging. Darkstar was on my team, and Warblade broke 3 poles on him.
Okay. That would definitely qualify as a use of excessive force with the weapon.
But here's the problem. I watched it happen. There wasn't actual strength behind it. He used physics.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're talking about putting a bunch of weight at the end of the pole now, you
Just the fulcrum.
yeah.
That was all he used, but he used it at a point of intertwining or impact that just the force alone, one, knocked Darkstar, completely unconscious at one point, and the other was
you made the
just
mad.
It happens.
the force of it just snapped the war pole, and he went through 3 war poles in this one jugging fight.
Was he using bamboo?
I don't remember. This was years ago.
See,
All I
probably
remember
bamboo.
was you hear thwack, crack, shit.
That's bamboo.
yeah.
That
pretty
is
much.
bamboo.
That's bamboo.
Okay.
That's like my 12-footer has some flex to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not. First of all, it's my ANS project for my quals for champion, so I'm not going out to really just murder with it right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait until it's done and judged. It's a legal weapon. It's perfectly good to go. Then I'm going to take it out of the field and really put it through its cycle.
I'm going to switch chairs.
Yeah, we'll go for it.
This is on the couch with R&R.
You're no longer on the couch, sir. Get the hell out.
Motherfucker.
Didn't say that on there. Didn't say it on the couch.
Shut up.
Okay. All right. While we wait. Okay. By the time I keep forgetting about the delay. So I mean that's pretty much where we are in this poll situation. I think we're going to remove it and we're going to go with only fit anything above 10 feet is now banned.
Yeah. We have
So,
a question.
I think that would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
So
Kill Mill says, so would you have to agree that it's up to the local champions to make the call on weapons over the entirety of Amtgard as far as weapons?
well, the thing is we have a weapon standard. We have a weapon standard in the ROP.
We do.
Okay. And now, if individual parks decide they're going to start, some are going to ban them, some are going to not, then the only thing I would say is if we're going to go to something like that, then at that point it would be everybody's personal responsibility to contact the park they're going to visit
Absolutely.
and say, hey, I have a 12-footer at home. Can I use it at your park?
And the thing with that, it even states in the ROP that the park champion or kingdom champion is the actual field safety officer.
It is.
So if the champion of a park deems that something is unsafe, it doesn't matter if it's constructed correctly or anything like that. If they feel that it is unsafe to field on during a battle game, because it could cause potential concussions, bodily injury, bruises, broken bones, abrasions, so on and so forth, then they can go ahead and say, you know what, no, it's not going to be on the field.
Yeah, and I the only thing I would probably add as a caveat, I've got somebody commenting over there if you want to see if there's any questions.
Yamish, it's Brogy. I miss you guys so much.
I miss you too. By the way, in case you're wondering, I'm running live on my Squire Baronet Yamish Macross page at the same time we're here.
Yes.
Okay. So, what I wouldn't mind seeing, and I kind of advocated this before because I watched 2 guys get a concussion in the same event. We had some DAG fighters come over and crossplay, and they started murder chopping, and they were striking people in the head hard. And I would have to say that if you're working with such length of a weapon past a certain point, you can no longer come over and pull the I'm part of the Cleveland Indians and go, whoa, or that's the Atlanta Braves, my bad. You know, you're not doing this, whoa, with a friggin' 15-foot pole. There is no point to lift it straight in the air and drop it on a person.
Other than intimidation.
Because the problem is you may know how to accurately use that pole. You may know how to accurately drop that thing. Who's to say the person underneath your pole doesn't know to not put their head over?
You never take a pole head on. You always go to the left or right. If you go up or down, you're going to get hurt.
So I'd almost be willing to give the point that a murder chop with anything over 10 feet, gone.
So Brogy says, how you been, man? By the way, what's the discussion on?
Everything.
We're covering a lot of topics in Amtgard, and right now we're on the 15-foot pole discussion. The idea, and the rumor going around is that they want to input a removal of no weapons over 10 feet in length.
I think we should just limit their functionality, honestly.
I think, yeah, once you go over 10 feet, no longer lifting it straight up in the air and dropping it down. And so, no more, after you pass 10 feet, then I guess that would be no vertical, no straight up and down to drop to a person shot. I'm trying to explain to somebody who may not understand what a murder chop is. Okay, this is a murder chop. You take it up, straight up in the air like this, and you drop it straight down. Okay, that's the best description of a murder chop I can give you.
Yeah. Okay, so Kill actually brought something that I also remember.
I remember that too.
There was a 12-foot hammer at Springmore back in 2014. All I remember was a scream, a loud bam, and the hammer was returning from vertical drop. I remember that.
Yeah, and I think once you get over...
That seems excessive.
The thing about that, I was there and I saw it happen. It literally broke the shield that he was hitting.
Yeah, at that point, obviously, if it's breaking a shield, unless it is an absolute cheaply, crappily cardboard-based shield, if he breaks it, then obviously there's proof right there he's putting too much behind the shot.
Exactly.
And which means he's screwing it up.
What about straight-out jabs? I think anything higher than 10 feet would make it so jabs would be not as bad
because physics,
to take,
yeah.
You know?
Okay, straight out, 10 feet, if outside of 10 feet, sweeping the legs and stabbing, you know, or side swiping.
No Karate Kids.
You know, no Karate Kids. Well, I mean, sweep the leg, Johnny. You know, hitting the side of the leg, hitting up at the side of the body, I think is still fine. But the straight vertical to horizontal motion needs to go once you're passing 10 feet.
Well, let's take a historical take on it. Whenever people set up a pike line,
John,
it was a line of shields with a line of pikes.
Yes.
So those pikes were only for getting the enemy as far away from the shield line as you could by stabbing, while the archers took out as many as they can.
Yes.
So, by proxy, if we're translating medieval fighting styles to Amtgard, if you have poles over 10 feet, which there are,
then
I got one sitting outside, it's 12-footer.
You stab, especially if you have a shield line. You have your poles, and then you have your archers. If we're talking about these big inter-kingdom events, there's not going to be 1-2 archers. There's not going to be 1-2 poles. There's not going to be 1-2 shields like we have at your typical park days.
There's going to be multiple of each.
It's going to be a line. Now, if you cannot reach that line, come up with a better plan. Like you told me when you first became my squire, every situation is winnable. Rely on your team, garner experience, do not separate yourself. So, like, yes, fight with your fighting company, but don't just stay with your fighting company. There are other people in there who, A, might be looking at your fighting company, B, want your experience. If you do not know, ask. And if you are not willing to answer, you are part of the problem.
Who would have thought I have intelligence in it?
So I will say this.
Josh.
I will say this. It really depends on exactly what is going on. Because sometimes you'll have something where there's a huge battle game going on, and you have different fighter companies that actually band together, and they're like, okay, so this fighter company is going to do this. This fighter company is going to do this. This fighter company is going to do this. So that way, it takes away.
But what
from
about
you
the people who are not a part of any of the fighting companies? I've been excluded.
Then they get divvied out to different teams.
At a CK event, I have been excluded from my team because I was not a part of a certain fighting company.
And that's a problem with the person running the game. That's what that is. That has nothing to do with equipment. That is the person running the game did not handle it properly. Okay? Because if I'm running the game, which if I get Kingdom Champion, okay, now why are we Wheel of Death?
No, we're good. We're back.
Okay. If I get Kingdom Champion, okay, and I break up the teams at a game, if we're at a Kingdom event and I break up the teams, and I got 9 or 10 people that aren't on a fighting company, and obviously we got a Saracens over here, we've got the War Dancers over here, we've got the Annihilus over here, you know, we've
Shout out to the Rogues.
Okay, we got the Dark Riders here, we got the Rogues here, and I got 10 people that aren't affiliated. Then I need to look at it and go, okay, well, the Saracens look like they're short compared to everybody else. Okay, I'm going to throw 3 of you over here. Okay, now it looks like now the War Dancer's a little short. Guess what? You're now going over there with them. Because what that actually does, it does 2 things. 1, it puts them on a team. 2, it gets them associated with a fighting company where before they may not have had that association, and they may end up wanting to join that fighting company because they like fighting alongside them. They thought it was cool. It gives people experience with fighting with the fighting company to determine on later on down the road if they wanted to join it.
So Gilnil said, fighting companies are finicky. Some companies will be like that. Others will work with non-members. It's all personal opinion.
And here's the problem. If I'm running the game,
you gotta know your fucking choice.
You're taking on people because I have to balance the game out.
Exactly.
What is my...
So John says, Mang, I've been out of the game so long, I don't really remember anything. I remember headshots are illegal, and that's about it. Which you're right.
Headshots are illegal.
Man, I miss Amtgard. By the way, I hope I'm not out of line saying I really like the face paint on the beautiful young lady over there.
Thank you.
That is my page.
Hi.
So I think we're pretty much we're at the end of the discussion on our polearm deal, right?
Yeah.
Are we ready to go? Are we ready to go touch something dirty? That is an excellent segue right into where we're going, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, let me get a lighter.
Hold on.
Oh, wait a minute. We got another comment.
So Marcy says, if it leaves bruises with normal use, it's not safe.
She's right.
Absolutely.
But the correct use of
a pole will not leave bruises. I hit the ground and I get a bruise. Is it the ground's fault or is it mine?
It's the ground's fault.
It's the ground's fault.
Oh, so then the ground has to be banned.
The ground would have to be banned.
But the ground didn't sign a waiver, so...
So unfortunately we can't ban it. All we could do is actually then have to get a court order, restraining order, removing it from being able to attend events.
Okay. Anyway.
We're going down a road that there is no...
Yeah.
Bruises happen, bumps happen, as long as it's not a serious injury that would take you out of mundane life caused by another player, then I don't feel like it's an issue.
Sorry. John took his
But, I mean, we had, right before when I first started Amtgard, I met this player, and she was a spellcaster, and she was running, and she slipped and fell and tore her ACL. Libby?
Well, those things...
I mean, it happens.
I think the main question for if it leaves bruises is weapon construction style. If the weapon leaves bruises, it's bad.
Are we talking about how...
But also understand, if somebody's running a pole...
Green or like...
And I'm going to explain this story.
I think it's just weapons in general, right?
Well, let me explain this story on a weapon that did damage, but it wasn't the weapon's fault. I'm in Fall Dare. It's a park out in Nevada, okay? One of my parks that I started, okay? I've got a 6-foot bamboo pole.
Yeah.
Okay, because it was the only bamboo
speed pole.
It wasn't a speed pole.
Oh,
I made it a 6-foot war pole.
Well, shit.
It was the only bamboo that I could find. It was sturdy where I was at. It was easily accessible. Okay. So anyway,
that came out of nowhere.
This kid Cody. Okay. Cody runs at me at full throttle.
1 second, John.
Runs at me at full throttle. I got this pole. And I'm thinking to myself, I've taught you how to fight the pole. You're going to block it out. You're going to run up. You're going to stab me. He's running at full throttle. So I've got it ready. And I'm ready to withdraw. I'm ready to withdraw because he's going to do the block. I know it's coming, so I'm going to withdraw out and stab back in. When I go to stab, he doesn't block the pole. He leaps and tries to go up over the top of the pole. Not to the side. He is up over the top, and I'm in a full throttle thrust. He's in a full throttle run. My pole and his nuts come together.
Okay.
In the middle. He actually comes out and headbutts the pole from getting bent over by the pole. The inertia between the two making contact in the middle. He's not doing so hot the rest of the day, and he had to leave. I get a phone call later on that night. Hey, dude, you need to come by the hospital. He's in the hospital. And I'm like, I did this. You know, and it took me several months later before I figured out it was just the total combined force in the center. Yeah. It wasn't the weapon. If he didn't run and jump, he'd have been fine. I ruptured his testicle.
Oh, God.
From the shot. Okay. Right. But he's running at full throttle at the pole and jumps.
Yeah. John's got a couple things.
Okay.
Let's see here. By the way, about team balancing, what about the skill leveling? Like, you wouldn't put me on a Saracen, think I spelled that right, because I just hold it back, you know? That's not necessarily the case. Because,
no
way. Any level is fine. It doesn't matter what level you are. It's the experience you're gaining and the experience you have that will benefit on both sides.
Every single person on your team could be 6th level and you could be at 1st level. You should actually be on a team with all 6th level people.
Because they will teach you more about that.
They will teach you about all kinds of stuff. Tomalot has returned.
Hey, it's Tomalot! Hello,
okay,
Tomalot.
so I would rather have you as an inexperienced player on a team
2017
with a bunch of experienced players because you're going